Performance-enhancing drugs. The three words no sports fan wants to hear when they turn on their local sports broadcast. Steroids are something that defined an entire era of baseball for a large amount of time. Players like Jose Canseco, Manny Ramirez, and the face of the steroid era, Barry Bonds, are all well-known legends of the game that took steroids during that era. Whether you eat a balanced breakfast every morning or munch on a testosterone stick in your free time, most people can agree that using performance-enhancing drugs is not fair when it comes to sports. Steroids have serious side effects on one's body. They can seriously improve your muscle mass and performance, but not everyone is willing to risk their future health to become extremely strong. In an effort to even the playing field, Major League Baseball cracked down on steroid testing in 2003, and since then, steroid use has plummeted. But this doesn't necessarily stop players from using steroids altogether. And frankly, I find players who use steroids for their own benefit revolting. If you've been catching up with the baseball news for the past week, you'll know that the Braves' new corner outfielder, Jurickson Profar, tested positive for a masking agent for steroids and was suspended 80 games without pay. Profar sent out a heartfelt message denying ever knowingly putting a substance in his body, but he said he accepts the decision by MLB. Which, I mean, you don't really have a choice, dude. You're suspended. But at least he isn't trying to whistleblow and say the system is out to get him, I guess. So I want to see if Jurickson Profar truly scammed the Braves. Are there obvious signs that he did take steroids to have his amazing breakout season? Are his numbers going to decline after coming back and hopefully being off steroids? Let's look into it. Jurickson Profar was a highly touted prospect in the Rangers organization, who they signed out of Curaçao in 2009. MLB.com didn't have an amazing grading system back then, but they had him at a 6 of 6 run in arm grade, 7 of 8 fielding, which is just wrong, and a 4 for both hit and power tool. This made him a 6 of 7 overall, so extremely highly rated. This also made him the Rangers' number 1 prospect and MLB's number 1 overall prospect in 2013. Profar had a small cup of coffee debut with the Rangers in 2012 at 19 years old, where he put up a 647 OPS. His rookie status was then exceeded the next year when he played 85 games with a 644 OPS. Profar's struggles in the majors continued throughout most of his time in Texas. 2014 saw him have to get surgery on his shoulder, which made him miss the entire 2014 and 15 season. After his return, he continued to struggle and looked to be what today's analysts would call a 4A player, where he is too good for AAA, but not good enough to play in the MLB. In 2018, Profar seemed to somewhat put it together, not to the expectations of his number 1 overall status in 2013, but a 793 OPS and a 1.5 WAR is definitely playable over 146 games. He was traded that offseason to Oakland and then to San Diego the next year. From 2020 to 2022, Profar put up 4.3 WAR for San Diego, playing almost every day, before signing with the Rockies in 2023, being horrible and getting designated for assignment. This brings us to what many people saw as Profar's year to show who he could be as a player. His 31-year-old season, 2024, where he went off. 2024 saw a lot of Profar's poor advanced metrics skyrocket to either above average or even elite. His counting stats skyrocketed too, career highs in average, home runs, OPS, and basically any other stat you can think of. This is an extreme red flag for many people across the sport who are trying to prove that he did take steroids in the 2024 season. He tested positive for a masking agent in the off-season, and as far as we know, did not test positive during the actual regular season. So, it's not confirmed. But let's think about this for one moment. What would Profar's reasoning be for taking steroids only in the offseason? To make a good impression for the Braves? I don't think so. You got your money, man? Get off the steroids. The metrics don't lie. I think he definitely took steroids during 2024. And maybe we will learn if he did or not later. But a lot of metrics suggest he did. Now, not all metrics are created equally. Steroids won't help every metric a player improves on. So what did Profar improve on in 2024, and how much does steroids play a part in it? In 2023, Profar looked to be improving in some areas. His contact abilities have always been his strong suit, routinely having an above average whiff, K, and chase percentage since 2020. The thing Profar has normally lacked is hard hit, barrel, and exit velocity percentages. 2024 saw that increase exponentially for Profar, which makes sense if he was taking steroids from the start to the end of the season. If you're stronger, you hit the ball harder, and if you hit the ball harder, you get more hits and extra base hits. Baseball players strive to increase their exit velocities in training, and in my opinion, doing steroids to increase this is a cheap ass way to do it. Hard hitting will also help your expected batting average increase because, as stated previously, hard hitting equals more hits. So, what does this mean for the Braves and Profar's future production? Well, you can expect a drop in slugging percentage and, as a result, a lower OPS, but there is no saying that the batting average will drop drastically. Profar was always a contact hitter before the 2024 season, and if you look at players like Steven Kwan, a man who hit very well in the first half of the 2024 season and fell off near the end, Kwan has some of the slowest bat speeds in the league with a first percentile, as well as a very low hard hit, barrels, and average exit velocity percentages. What does Kwan have that lets him be productive? A good launch angle and squared up percentage. These two stats are what make pure contact hitters like Kwan and Luis Arias productive, even without the bat speed and barrels that other hitters have. In 2023, Profar had an 85th percentile launch angle sweet spot percentage, which regressed in 2024 drastically. Steroids don't help you swing at a good angle. That takes training and practice. If Profar can get back to that launch angle and square some more baseballs up, steroids don't need to be the make or break of his games. He can be productive, just in a different way. The Braves signed Profar to a 3-year, $42 million deal without knowing of his steroids use, obviously. They saw a high 200s average and 20 homer guy and were paying for that version of Profar. But if they get a contact hitting, Luis Arias-esque Profar, are they going to get scammed? Profar's deal was reduced down to about a $37 million deal after giving up $5 million in the suspension. Luis Arias, a proven contact hitter, unlike Profar, is getting paid $14 million in his last year of arbitration this year, and according to Spotrac, his market value is about $17 million a year. This is more money than Profar is getting yearly at $12 million this year and $15 each of the next two. If Profar is anything like Luis Arias, which I'm not saying he will be, his contract could still be worth it, but this is obviously a big if. Clearly, only time will tell if Profar can play up to his contract. Maybe he will take the Anthony Rendon route and start hitting the game, play like shit, and retire with whatever millions he got out of the team. Maybe he will be like Steven Kwan or Luis Arias in the hitting department and end up being a guy for the Braves without steroids. Regardless of what happens, I don't think we can write Profar off just yet, even though taking steroids is the most pathetic path to improve yourself a player can take. Thank you all for watching till the end. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and tell me why Profar is an idiot in the comments down below. Have a good day.